deep in the heart of Texas.
We're in the business of winning.
Don't bet against me.
I don't bet anyway.
Lose your life.
All right, so here we go. Aggies minus 15 versus South Carolina. The over-under is 54. South Carolina 2-5 on a 3-game losing streak. I mean, they got the Aggies coming in off a bye week. And the previous game was a loss. So then you got 2 weeks of them just stewing, ready to get out there and win. They're playing at home. This is the biggest spread for the Aggies against an SEC team, or actually a Power 5 team in general over the last 2 seasons. And the last time that the spread was bigger was South Carolina. That was a 19.5-point dog, and they beat them by 30.
Damn.
So, Max, is it Max Johnson?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he, I actually did think he was going to do very well. He hasn't been that good. He thrown 4 picks, I think, in 3 games.
Tennessee really got to him. I thought up until last week, which last week's not all his fault, but up until then, I thought Max had looked good enough. We'll say that. Like, not amazing, but he definitely looked like he knew what he was doing and looked comfortable on some throws. But, yeah, go ahead.
No, yeah. I think saying that, and then I think this line is just more reflective on how bad they think South Carolina is, right? They haven't scored more above 20 in a conference road game. I mean, I'm usually pretty high on the Aggies when it comes to lines because of their talent. I'm taking the Aggies minus 15 here. I was kind of looking at the under at one point, but I think I'm just going to stick to the Aggies minus 15 for 2.
Yeah, so, I mean, I probably would not bet on this game if I had to choose. It's just a little too much. It was 14.5. Now ESPN has 15.5, so it's even gotten a little bigger. I mean, yeah, I would say Aggies, but I'm just so distraught right now over A&M. I'm just hard to have any faith in them. But I would put 1 on A&M minus 14 or 15 or whatever you get it at. At home, they're usually very good against lesser opponents as of late, so I think they'll cover it. Hopefully they're as fed up as the rest of us, like the guys who have been there. I'm hoping if they've ever looking for a chance to take out some of that anger, I'm hoping this will be the week to do it. So if they can win by 50, I'm hoping that's the attitude. So, but yeah, I'll take A&M. I'll put 1 on A&M minus 15.5. I'd go over too if I had to pick, because again, if South Carolina can do anything, it's throw, and A&M secondary is their biggest weakness. The offensive line looked shaky last week, although Tennessee has a very good front. So I would take A&M, but I'm not very confident in it. I think they'll win. I'm just not confident in the cover.
I think A&M, I pick them to cover this as well. I think we can look back on it after this week and wonder why we just didn't pick them to hammer them harder. South Carolina has shown nothing this entire season. I know A&M's clearly frustrating for you more than others, so it seems like I'm just not going to bet on these dudes. But just someone who's not so close to it, I just look at them, and really Spencer Rattler is all they have. And A&M's defense is really good. I just don't see Spencer Rattler carving them up. I'm going to put 3 on A&M covering this.
Damn. That makes me feel better.
Yeah, well, it's just like, what is Spencer Rattler going to do? They're not going to run the ball on A&M. And is Spencer Rattler just going to carve them up? Probably not.
I hope not, but I guess what sucks, right, is you take that Miami loss away, and it was like, okay, secondary sucks. We found that out today. And then, you lose, again, just trying to find a silver lining as a fan, right? You lose to Alabama and Tennessee by a touchdown each, right? So I still feel like we're moving in the right direction. It is just at such a slow pace. It is so hard to bear, I feel like between Miami, Alabama, Tennessee, we should have won one of those games. Like, that's where we should be right now. So I know
Possibly
Wigman
two
went
of those
down
games.
too, which, could say maybe is a factor, of course, but who knows where he would have been with 3 or 4 more weeks of work, right? So, but yeah, that's just how I feel about it right now.
And really, they played as good as Alabama. And if you had Alabama playing South Carolina, what do you think the line would be? I mean, I don't think it'd be too much bigger, but you'd have all this faith that Alabama's going to cover it, even if it's like
No, you'd probably have 3 scores out of Alabama.
Yeah, I was gonna
Right.
say 18,
They're
19,
they're going
20.
to
Yeah.
cover. And you wouldn't have confidence that South Carolina. Well, I mean, if a line that big, sometimes you take South Carolina at 20 points, but I mean that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, Alabama would be favored this much, and A&M can hang with them. I think if they play just for talent against South Carolina, they should destroy them.
Yeah,
From top to bottom.
if everything goes perfect this weekend, I would say it would be nice if the secondary can make a few plays and get some confidence going, an interception or a pick six or just a good game overall. But that's like the best case scenario is the secondary figures some stuff out because man, the secondary looks horrible. The offensive line looked bad last week, but that was against a really good front. I'm not as worried. They've looked much better this year, but man, the secondary is so bad. It's so bad. I feel like we should have beat Bama, and our secondary kind of let that game slip through our fingers.
No.
Tennessee, honestly, I feel like Tennessee beat us worse than Bama did, just kind of in a football sense.
They were controlling the game, it seemed like, more.
Yeah, and it felt like with Bama, we were punching them punch for punch, But Tennessee, it felt like, even though it was close, like it never felt close. It never felt like we were going to move the ball.
With Alabama, y'all are the ones that are like, we need to, like, y'all have that extra motivation, and maybe Tennessee had that extra motivation. Actually, I mean, Tennessee was picked to do more, but I don't think anyone actually, I think y'all are favored against Tennessee, right?
I think we were like a 2 or 3 point dog. It was really close.
Oh, okay. So kind of just, all right, then more or less just two teams really going at it. But it does kind of pay off sometimes to be that underdog and just have people just shitting on you all week because you obviously go out there more. Like all of us would just go out there and try a lot harder against a way better team than just a team that we think is equal or less, right?
Yeah. Y'all think Jimbo's going to get fired?
Yep. I said that last year, though, so.
But it's like
do I think he's going to get Dion? Absolutely not. That's ridiculous to think he's going to leave Colorado after coming there, having all his players transfer there, clearing their whole house out, and he's not going to say later.
Dude, never say never, man. Never say never. That's the wrong attitude, man. That's the wrong attitude to get Dion to come to A&M.
Yeah, I don't think he would do it because of the shit he would take, like Ryan said, for having everyone waste their one transfer year to come there, and he had everyone waste their transfer year to leave. Like, he would probably be crucified. But then again, if he's willing to take the heat for what's realistically probably, 3 weeks, and then after that, it kind of dies down. I mean, if he was willing to do that, maybe. Because, I mean, obviously they're going to – but then again, are they going to commit again after Jimbo to a big – are they going to give Dion a huge contract, like multiple years, like 5+, or are they going to say, here's 3 years but a huge salary?
Oh, we give Dion whatever he wanted.
Yeah, but I also think, what really has Deion Sanders done? I mean, I know, yeah.
Dude, it's not. That's what I mean. College.
It's putting the name with the money. I think.
Dude. Like Dion would be top 3 recruiting every year at A&M. Like, no doubt. There's absolutely no doubt.
But you got to think, what is Dion doing without his son on the team? I know it sounds ridiculous, but without Shedeur Sanders, how good is Colorado?
I think he knows the X's and O's
really
well enough, right?
Keeping them in games.
I think if Dion got a top 10 recruiting class every year, I think he knows the X's and O's well enough to do something with it.
Right, but we have nothing to look back on.
You're right. He's fresh. He's fresh. You're right. He's fresh, but
he does have some promising things as far as building a team that is competitive,
much better
out of the transfer portal.
Yeah.
So this is a straight transfer portal thing that he did build, and also he did kind of mold Shedeur Sanders, right? Like, so he does know, he knew, like, this, like, my son, obviously, is good enough to compete against the best. and he actually put him in those situations, obviously like growing up and stuff. He did recognize Travis Hunter, who is an absolute beast, and he went all out to get
I
that
feel
kid.
like all the coaches, they knew that, and I think that's what
But
shows
who was
Dion
going to play
has.
him both ways?
People are going to come play for Dion, like Nick said, but if you're not the absolute X's and O guys like a Saban,
He can
which we
hire
don't know
somebody.
yet, he might be, and he might not be.
I mean,
just think
he's got
is A&M
some.
going to risk him.
What was it, Jackson? He coached at Jackson for a couple years or whatever it was. I know that's an HBCU, but I mean, it's not like he's
absolute.
It's not like
studs
he's
on his
coming from absolutely nothing, right? I mean, he's one of the best corners of all time. He obviously knows something about coaching, you know.
Oh, I agree. It's just like you said, he's fresh. It's like two things. Is A&M going to get rid of, a great coach and just, put all their apples on Dion or in Dion like that basket? And also, is Dion going to leave Colorado? I don't feel like all these things are going to happen. But is Jimbo on the hot seat? Just the original question. I believe so.
I think
who do we get though? If not Dion,
Kyle Whittingham, Utah, baby.
No,
That dude's a coach. That dude's a coach.
No, I don't think that's.
I don't feel like we're gonna go.
That's a sidestep at best, I think.
No, if that dude brings Cam Rising,
You really have to go for someone better or someone fresh, right? Like, remember the Boise State guy when he was coming up? He was the hot thing, right? And everybody wanted him, but he just wanted to stay at Boise. And now it's Dion. Is he gonna stay? I feel like if this was his second or third year, he would. Everybody be trying to get him. I think the first year is kind of hard to just get someone, go somewhere for a season, then leave again, go somewhere else. Especially you as a person, like later, like everybody, I'm just gonna fuck you all over and leave. And leave.
It's Colorado. Who cares, bro? Also, do you think Colorado is the final stop for Dion? There's no way.
No.
There's absolutely no way.
Not at all.
Yeah, so
I just think
it's definitely possible.
I just think you don't really see that happen. Someone goes somewhere and then leaves after a year. He moves even up again. I think he has to have more time there. Also, it is weird. You're not going to have all these people transfer, cut all these people in jet. That's weird to me. But maybe people do that. I think if it's up to A&M, they're gonna. Why wouldn't you want Dion? I mean, they're definitely gonna try for it.
That being said, do you think A&M and Dion's people are in touch at all?
Oh, they're talking.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Hey, this is 100%.
Yeah,
dude, they're
it's like
talking for sure.
Dion's definitely looked at Twitter in the past week or two, so he knows that they're probably interested, or at least the whole fan base is. It seemed like
Backing up the Brinks truck.
Yeah, he knows A&M. Yeah, exactly. He knows A&M will walk the walk too if it comes down to it.
You guys mark my words. Kyle Whittingham is either winning at Utah or someone's getting him. He's turning that thing around. Dude's a beast.
I'm sure he might go somewhere else, but I don't think for A&M, I don't think cutting bait on Jimbo and that money and getting him, I don't think that's not enticing enough.
I get, given the Jimbo contract situation, they have to they're gonna have to. That kind of does make sense.
And Jimbo hasn't been horrible, right? It's just not. We expect to be at a little bit of a higher pace right now than we are, right? Jimbo's won bowl games. I know last year was bad, but this year hasn't been horrible. Again, it's just not where we want to be, and it's not so far. Again, I think A&M has a good possibility to win out. In my opinion, again, if Max Johnson doesn't get hurt, we're totally effed if he does. But I think we have a decent opportunity, considering LSU looks shaky. I think we have a decent chance here to win out. And if we do, we'll keep Jimbo for one more year. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like that kind of thing.
If you do, for sure, yeah. If the Aggies went out, this conversation's done. But they lose maybe one or two more games.
Yeah, it's done. I think it's done.
Would take kind of a Dion to be like, oh my God, they paid that buyout. Oh wait, we got Dion. We're not mad anymore, kind of thing. Like, so at least something big like that, right? Like you'll probably see the usual candidates, probably Urban Meyer, kind of things, like names that big.
And the one weird thing about Jimbo, I think, which sucks for A&M, that isn't like other contracts, is like if Jimbo were to go, let's say he goes to Clemson or something or whatever, right? And they pay him, let's just say the exact same contract, right? A&M and Jimbo were like, this isn't working. I'm going to go to Clemson, same exact amount of money. That counts against his contract at A&M. For whatever reason, A&M didn't get that buyout or that clause in his contract. So if he goes and does that with Clemson, A&M pays him and Clemson pays him. Like, he is in so much money right now. It's like,
God,
maybe that's the problem. He's just like, I don't give a fuck anymore, dude. I'm done.
Yeah, dude. This guy is just thinking about what yacht he's gonna buy.